Hey everyone, and welcome back to Horror Movies for Life YouTube channel. And the 1982 horror movie we're going to take a look at today as part of my overall 1980s horror series is another one that I don't have the physical media for, that I streamed on YouTube. And that movie is Blood Tide, also known as Blood Tide, one word instead of two. I think it was Blood Tide, two words in overseas, and I think it was Blood Tide, one word in the U.S. I don't know. Not that it really matters. I'm going to go with Blood Tide. So, Blood Tide is a 1982 British horror film directed by Richard Jefferies. Its plot follows a young American couple visiting a Greek island where the husband's sister disappeared. They soon find that an ancient monster has been released, forcing the villagers to return to the practice of human sacrifice to appease it. So the movie opens, we're introduced to Neil and Sherry Grice, a young American couple who are visiting Greece in search of Neil's missing sister, Madeline, an artist who traveled to a remote island off the coast shortly before her disappearance. Upon arriving on the island, the couple are met by Nerys, the elderly mayor. While touring the island, Neil and Sherry see Madeline walking along a rocky hill and follow her. They find her in the company of Fry, a middle-aged treasure hunter who is initially hostile toward Neil. Later that night, Fry and Madeline's friend Barbara use Neil and Sherry's boat to visit a remote area of ocean off the island where Fry scuba dives into an underwater cavern. Inside, Fry gets drunk and uses a homemade bomb to unseal a walled-off tunnel, which bears a sigil engraved upon it. That's like a symbol. Engraved above it, I should say. Sigil. While Neil and Sherry visit the beach the next day with Madeline, Fry, and Barbara, Sherry observes Madeline acting strangely in a seemingly trance-like state. When Sherry gifts Madeline an expensive perfume, Madeline pours the entire entire bottle over her body. So yeah, that's kind of the setup and the premise, the beginning of Blood Tide from 1982. As far as the cast goes, James Earl Jones as Fry, Jose Ferrer as Nerys, Lila Kudrova as Sister Anna, Mary Louise Weller as Sherry Grice, Martin Kove from Karate Kid and Cobra Kai fame, as Neil Grice, Lydia Cornell as Barbara, and Deborah Shelton as Madeline Grice. So yeah, that's to set up the premise and the cast for the 1982 British horror movie Blood Tide. This is a weird movie, to say the least. It's an interesting movie in some ways, and also a disappointing movie in other ways. They clearly take, if not directly rip off, parts of Jaws, which came out about 7 years before this, probably 6 years before from when this movie was made. And they also, it's kind of a combination of a Jaws movie and almost like, it's as if Jaws met, what's the movie, the cult movie from 1973, The Wicker Man. The Wicker Man and Jaws kind of combined into one movie. That's a little bit like what this movie is, it feels like to me. But let's just go ahead and get into the things that I liked about the movie first, the pros. Because there are a few. And you got to start with James Earl Jones, man. I'm a big James Earl Jones fan. Rest in peace. That was a tough day for me when he passed away last year. Absolutely love James Earl Jones and everything I've seen him in, whether it be voice work of Darth Vader or Field of Dreams, or, I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Everything I've seen him in, with the exception probably of one of the worst movies ever made, Exorcist 2, The Heretic. He's not one of the main characters in that movie, but he is in that movie, and it's not his fault that I didn't like him, and I didn't like anything in that movie. But anyway, James Earl Jones as the character of Fry is easily the best part of the movie, in my opinion. That character is so entertaining and interesting, and I think he has a bit of a character arc in the movie as well, which I really enjoyed. But I thought James Earl Jones really portrayed this character well. You could tell he was having fun playing the character. A little bit over the top at times, which I think was part of the fun of it. He quoted poetry. This character did at times. Having James Earl Jones quote poetry is very interesting. But yeah, as the movie goes on, you're just not quite sure about it. He drinks a lot. he gets drunk once, and that's kind of a funny scene. So he provides a little humor, but he also plays it straight when he needs to. And I don't know, I just thought that character was really good because of James Earl Jones. I think the setting in the movie is pretty cool. You have this Greek island location that provides a nice backdrop for some of the nice views and imagery that we see, like overlooking the water as well as in the water and in this cave that they go under. They actually did go to Greece and shoot, is my understanding. If not Greece, somewhere over. I'm pretty sure it was Greece, but somewhere over there. So I thought the setting was cool. The movie starts out pretty strong with this olden times cult type ceremony offering up this virgin girl as a sacrifice to this creature to appease it, basically to save their own skins. It felt like a good way, kind of an intense way to let you know what you thought this movie was going to be, but it was in a kind of an intense way to kick it off, and kind of interesting. It had my attention anyway. The movie has a lot of eye candy in it, and that's whether you're a female that likes males that like females, or the other two ways: females, males. But basically, you have a lot of eye candy. You have Martin Cove for the Crease himself. He's much younger, and I don't think he wears a shirt for more than 10% of this movie. He's basically shirtless for 90% of the movie, and he's buff. So I'm sure the gals will like that, or the guys. Hey, I'm not here to judge. Also, even James Earl Jones, who's young during the movie, the making of this movie, he has a beach scene where he's laying on the beach and cracks open a watermelon, and he's shirtless too. And then, of course, the females, the three main female characters are all easy on the eyes. Sherry, Barbara, and Madeline. Sherry Grice, played by Mary Louise Weller. Lydia Cornell is Barbara, who, of course, I know best, and I think most people do, from the early 80s show Too Close for Comfort. She was one of Ted Knight's daughters on that show, the blonde. And then Deborah Shelton is Madeline Grice. At first I couldn't remember where I seen her from, but she was actually in Dallas. She played Mandy Winger in like the middle seasons, I would say. JR's one of his many affairs in that show. I'm a big fan of Dallas, the original series. But yeah, all three of those women just look amazing. And of course, they're walking around in skimpy bathing suits, or like white t-shirts that get wet and then they're kind of see-through. And there's one scene where Barbara takes off her top. They don't show nudity. You don't see her front. You just see her from the back. And then when she goes in the water, she covers up a little bit when she sees some creepy looking men watching her. Some of the island men there. So anyway, there's a lot of eye candy in this movie. Definitely one of the pluses for it. Let's see. I think the entire cast is pretty good here for what they have to do. Like I said, I talked about James Earl Jones, but I think Martin Cove is good for what they ask him to do. Deborah Shelton is good. She has to sort of play a possessed person as well as a scared person. Lydia Cornell, I think everybody's good in the movie. I don't think there was. I mean, some of the performances at times are hammed up a little bit over the top. Even James Earl Jones, but that was probably intentional by the direction. But I enjoyed this cast, to be honest with you. Nobody really annoyed me. There's nobody that I really disliked, even though some of them played less likable characters than others. But yeah, those are my pros anyway for Blood Tide from 1982. As far as cons go, the story is the big one here. The story really doesn't go anywhere. Things just kind of happen. It's kind of a weird and jumbled mess where nothing really happens. I don't know. There's just not a cohesiveness to it. There's not really a through line. It's just things sort of happening, and a lot of the things happening aren't that exciting. Not as exciting as the beginning or the title would make you believe. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to explain because the story's kind of been done before, but it's kind of unique at the same time, but they just don't execute it very well. And I'm sure budget had a lot to do with that. Richard Jefferies' directing isn't the best, in my opinion. Again, low budget probably. But I think it could have been executed a lot better. The look of the creature that we finally do see towards the end of the movie, underwater and then above water, isn't really all that effective. From an effect standpoint, it looks pretty silly and cheesy. Clearly, a guy in a costume. Just not that effective. The kills that we get aren't really seen all that much. The ones we do see are kind of very much from Jaws, a ripoff of Jaws, where somebody's swimming and all of a sudden they get pulled under by their legs, and then you just see the blood bubbling up in the water. I mean, that's, I guess you could say those are kills and whatnot, but it's a direct ripoff from Jaws, it felt like to me. There is a lack of gore in this movie. I mean, you do have the blood in the water and a little bit of blood here and there, but it's mostly a goreless film. I also felt that it limps towards the end, the climax, despite only being 82 minutes. At times, I felt like this movie dragged a bit throughout. There's some scenes of dialogue, and I don't mind scenes of dialogue as long as it's relevant to the overall story. But I think this movie could have used some more action, some more horror in it. It's not a very scary movie. And a lot that goes on in this movie really doesn't make sense. Things just happen. James Earl Jones, when he first meets Martin Cove's character early on, of course, as it says, at first he's kind of hostile to him, and then he gives him a big kiss on the cheek when he realizes that he's non-threatening. There's another scene towards the end of the movie where brother and sister have a nice, not nice, but a lip-to-lip kiss, which is like a passionate kiss between Martin Cove and Deborah Shelton. That kind of came out of nowhere and was disturbing. I don't know. There's weird things in this movie. There really is. And that's kind of my review for it. I don't have a whole lot more to say about it. I'm going to give this movie a 6 out of 10. I think because of the location and the cast, especially James Earl Jones, but really all of them, as well as the eye candy that's available here. That's gonna move it up to a 6 for me. I was thinking somewhere between 5.5 and 6.5. 6.5 feels too high. 5.5 doesn't feel quite high enough given those things that I just mentioned. But 6 out of 10 for Blood Tide from 1982. It's not a movie that I have a desire to go out and buy right away. I'm not even sure that I'd go out of my way to watch this movie again. I mean, if it came on or somebody else wanted me to watch it with them, I guess I wouldn't hate it. I probably would watch it again, but at the same time, I'm not going to run across the railroad tracks with an oncoming train to try to get a copy of this movie either. So that's why it's a 6 out of 10. But you could do a lot worse. So that's my review for Blood Tide. Go ahead and comment down below if you guys have seen this movie. It is available on YouTube. It is streaming on there. That's where I watch it. Probably other places too. I'm pretty sure Amazon Prime for if you have a membership there, not for free, but. Please like this video, hit the little notification bell, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. It would really help me out, especially for the future of my channel and my content going forward. But with all that being said, I hope you're enjoying this 1982 part of my overall 1980s horror review series. Thank you for watching, and as always, stay scared. Bye.